like we're old friends meeting up in high school, just like for a call and a quick chat. I was like, I
It's
gotta talk
good
to my man
energy.
Dom. I was like,
It's
I gotta
good
talk to my man
energy.
Dom. I gotta talk to him. I know he's got the insights, he's got the knowledge, he's got everything. I was like, I gotta talk to
I
him.
know, bro.
Let me talk to him. So, I
You're making
mean,
me blush over here.
here we go. Here we go. See, here we go. So to start this episode, everybody, we're another episode of In the Paint. My man Dom, hustler, investor, collector, man, jack of all trades. He does it all. My man Dom, aka Tempered Ambition. Thank you for taking this time and
Yes,
doing the show
sir.
with me, man. Thank you. I
It's a
really
pleasure,
appreciate
my
it.
man. It's always good to see you. You
You
look
too,
great.
man. Man, stop it. Here we go. See, that's how we start this call. Here we go. We're gonna go all day giving each other compliments, going back and forth. We'll never get
That's
through
right.
anything. See,
I
it's just
hope
gonna be
you have a
compliment hard.
wonderful day,
I
brother.
hope you have a wonderful day, man. And I hope you do the best. I hope God's blessings rain upon you and your
Rain upon
family.
you forever and ever. I'm
Exactly.
gonna buy you a drink. I'm
No,
gonna
no,
buy
no.
two
I want to
drinks.
buy you a drink, 2 drinks, 3 drinks, 4 drinks. How many are we doing? See, I'm telling you, it'll be that all day long. See, I knew it. I knew it. Man,
For
it's
sure, for sure.
so
God,
I won't even
Jesus.
hold it. So I mean, as you can see, we have that natural sort of energy. And looking through when I was doing my research, I was like, Dom and I are very in sync. We have a lot of the same energy, a lot of the same interests, a lot of the same inspirations. And I mean, one of the biggest ones I saw, obviously, because we met at VCon, was Gary V. And I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know about you, but early IG Gary V was an animal. And I'm talking about wake you up at 7 a.m. out of your sleep and tell you, what are you doing? You're not working hard enough, get to the work. For
Yeah.
you, how big of an inspiration is Gary Vee, and what does he mean to you in terms of like being a hustler and motivation and like getting after and doing the work?
Well, it really started not to like shift the thought process. Like my father passed,
Mm-hmm.
and when he passed, I had no real like male voice or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I started picking up his books. I
Right.
was reading his books, and I was dropping at the time, family to doctors and things like that. And I'm just sitting there waiting. I'm reading this book,
Mm-hmm.
and I just start getting the content in my head. So I'm reading these books, so I start watching his videos,
Right.
and that voice became my that one that's always telling me you got to do this, do that, go here,
Yep.
go there, try this.
Yep.
My parents were always very encouraging of everything I did. I was always smart in school, whatever. I didn't continue it.
Mm-hmm.
I just burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, when my dad passed and I lost his encouragement, I was in a place where my mom was cross country, so I'm always like physically next to me.
Right.
So then you just start watching content and seeing that stuff, and it
Yep.
makes you want to try and do and
Yep.
go. I ended up listening to some of its content. I was doing like jab, 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 right hook came out, and I
Yep.
tried to get on social media on Instagram, and I crashed a fantasy football conference that came to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we're going to the Bellagio. I just showed
Right.
up at the Bellagio conference.
Okay.
And I'm just sitting down. I'm on Twitter tweeting people, trying to like, hey, come over here, come over
Right.
here. I finally got a guy. He gave me a lanyard that I stuck in my pocket. And I snuck in there, started passing out business cards that I had printed out that day, just trying to
Man.
get traction.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ended up getting a job, getting a gig, doing some social media stuff, and that's kind of where it started. Like,
Right.
then you just watching content, try this, do that, go here, try more, taste more
Wow.
things. So that's where it started. And then, as he starts growing and his business goes from, wine into marketing and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then you see him branch out into all the different things that he does. He's got
Right.
restaurant stuff, apps. He's got 3 or 4 or 5 different marketing agencies now.
Right.
And he
True.
still does all the different things. It's like, dude's guy, he's on 100
Right.
all the time.
Right. Where does he have the time?
Eventually, it gets to the point where I couldn't really like keep up with him anymore because you got to live your life.
Right.
And then you catch back up. It's like, that's interesting.
Right.
What was that?
Right.
And then you start getting in it again.
Right.
And that happened with NFTs. So I was like, yo, let's jump and go that way. And then my buddy, Mike, he was on there too. And we start talking. And then that conversation happens, start buying NFTs, and you get that itch, man. You get that itch, brother.
I remember it so well because it was such an interesting time. Like NFTs they were like, oh, this is the next gold. It was such a different feeling in NFT land in general, just because it was such a big camaraderie, and it was like we were all in on this big secret. Like only we knew.
Yeah.
Nobody really kind of. If you didn't know about NFTs and you weren't in on it, you didn't accept it. You didn't care about them. If you were in on NFTs, they were the best thing ever. It was perfect. Everyone was cool, depending on what project you were a part of, depending sort of like your clique, what table you could sit at. It was like high school. So, that was such a good time. But
100%.
interesting to hear about your foray into Gary Vee, because I remember my first time hearing about him. I was actually at work at Walmart. I was working as a pharmacy tech, and I was taking a lunch break, and he was on Dr. Oz, and he was talking about different ways to market or something like that. And he was telling people, you can start a business today, just depends on what you're interested in. And I remember him that sticking out to me, because I was like, who is this guy, and why is he dropping the F-bomb like he doesn't care? And so because Gary didn't care. Gary did not care. It was like, I'm gonna get this message out. I don't care what it takes. You're gonna receive this message. And I really love that. I love that because it's raw, it's honest, it's straight to the point, and there's no bullshit. Straight up, there's no bullshit.
Yeah.
And seeing him be that way, and then it's like you said, you start to see him everywhere, and then you start to hear his message, and then you start to pick up on some of the stuff he's saying, and then you fall into his funnels. You see his books, his apps, his marketing, and so he's such an attractive character. But it's the way he's everywhere, I think, is the way it just works for him.
And it's always consistent too. It's not like it changes. It's authentic, and it's consistent everywhere he goes.
Yep.
And one of the main points he talks about, he's like, I don't talk about things I don't know.
Yep.
He's like, if I don't know what it is, then I don't have the same conviction in my message and how I'm talking to you.
Yep.
I can't be myself, and I'll just say I don't know enough about that to really give you a strong enough opinion one way or the other.
And I appreciate that.
Right? And I'll do this or I'll do that, but that thing I don't either I don't personally go into that space, or I just don't know about it, and I haven't, and I don't want to do it wrong or an injustice to that community. He's very conscious of community. He did that with like it was Reddit. He was like, Reddit is so powerful. He's like, but you can't mess with it. Like, if you don't know it, then you can do an AMA, but if you're not in the subreddits all the time and in that jumping back and forth, then it's a different animal. And he's like, I don't know enough. I don't play in it enough to really say one way or the other, but it's a powerful tool. I'll do this or I'll do that, but the depth of it, he just didn't have it, so he would let that go.
Right.
So you use the tool, but he's not going to speak on it like he does Snapchat or LinkedIn, whatever the stuff that he does for that, and Facebook Messenger and all the different things that he does, especially like TikTok.
Right.
Like, so he didn't talk about it as much, but that's the point. It's like he's very, very authentic, very genuine in his message.
Yep. And I appreciate that, because being in that position, it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, you should just do this, and then make up something, and then give advice on something you don't, like you said, you don't have any clue about. Then you're passing on a lot of just sort of hoopla and whatever else to people, and they're expecting results only to not get those results. I think the thing that's so attractive about Gary is that his shit works because he's proving it to you and showing you, and then letting other people tell you as well, this is what it takes, and straight up it's hard work. You hit on something that's really interesting that I didn't think about, but community. Community is something Gary is really known for, and I think VCon is where you feel it. It's a different ball game altogether. What's VCon for you? Because I know that you've been to the first one and the second one. I guess, are you going to the third one, and what's it mean?
I'll be going to the third one. Yeah. The biggest part of VCon for me is the people. Like, the speakers are good, the speakers are nice, but like, that doesn't stick with me when I go home. The energy after the first one, man, I was a different person for months. I was smiling more. I was more open. My energy was more clear as far as like coming across, going to the grocery store. I wasn't like just looking for my stuff. I was smiling, seeing people and things. You see it. And then as the months passed, you can feel it fading away because you didn't have the energy. Right after the second one, similar, but I had an extra day where me and my buddy were just in the city. So we went to downtown, walked around. There wasn't an immediate go home and now I'm sitting in my room again.
Right.
So we got to sit a little bit in the city, still have the energy, still have some people around. It's a little. It was better than having that. Okay, I'm getting on a flight, I'm going home now.
Right. Definitely.
But the people though.
Yeah.
The people, man. Like, cause I have friendships that I know will carry me the rest of my life. I still talk to them, text people, or on a podcast, right? Like, this conversation will continue forward. It's that conference is done. I got like 10 people and 2 from Malaysia.
That's true.
Happened to be on the flight when I got on from Vegas, and I landed at the same time as them. They happened to be in my same hotel. We're friends. I got the phone numbers. We have to text them. How you doing?
Exactly.
Like, that would never have happened.
Exactly.
Like, you come to Malaysia, we'll help you. You tell me, you text me when you're coming. Like, I'll get you all set up. Like, what?
Right.
never
What
would have happened.
connection? Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy is I know exactly what you're talking about. That first VCon, I don't know what it was, but it was something. I think I remember the exact moment when I forget who, it might have been Gary, but someone said, all I want you to focus on in this incredibly scary time when we're getting started is just saying hi. And that was the message I took home. And so, like you, I was now going out into the world saying hi. I am walking around and just, hey, how you doing? Hey,
Yeah.
how are you? And it
Right. With a
was
smile and just,
right.
yes.
And it was such a shift to see how it impacted other people's days, but also what it did to me as well. But
Yeah.
just something as simple as saying hi to someone and acknowledging their presence changed and opened the doors for everything.
Huge.
And
Huge.
you would never think something so small or what I thought before would be insignificant was so powerful and so significant in the end, in general. And it's something that I think that community specifically fostered. Like you, the second year was a bit different for me, but you still felt that same feeling. I think it's just I don't know what it is, but it's just that feeling you get just being around there. But I definitely felt the change as well. And I don't know about you, but I felt a confidence in my skills after leaving each VCon. I think by the end of the first one, I was very afraid to even make content. Like I wasn't picking the phone, I wasn't making any content. After this one, I'm like, I gotta get a podcast, I gotta get a brand, I gotta get people to talk to me, I gotta put the camera on me, I gotta do this. Like it's something about just being with those people. It's like you can do anything. There's nothing you can't do. And that's just
Yeah.
Gary. That's Gary feeding into his community. That's just energy that he gives. And so it's such a powerful message. But I also wanted to ask you, because I know you're a big fan of this guy as well. He also speaks about community. And so what about Nipsey? What's Nipsey in the marathon? Talk to me about him. What's he mean to you?
Brother, that's the life right there, man.
Man, man.
That's the life, son. Like, if it wasn't for Nipsey's music, I might not be here. Like, it was
Yep.
hard. Like,
Yeah.
I was going through a lot personally, and I just
Yep.
happened to find him and his
Yep.
music like a few months before he passed away.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I was heavy into his
Yeah.
stuff. As soon as I heard his stuff, I got into the marathon. I got into Bullets Got No Name. I got into the Slauson Boy, like all his music. I
Yeah.
just was not. It was nonstop. Makes
Yep.
you want to go,
Yep.
son.
Yep.
Makes you want to go. So
Yep.
inspiring, teaching you things,
Yep.
talking to you about real concepts, thought processes. His interviews were always about forward thinking, progression. Like
Yep.
the one that always pops is like it's supposed to feel like a lot.
Yep.
Like it wouldn't be
Yep.
easy
Yep.
if it doesn't feel like a lot. It's how it's
Yep.
supposed to feel.
Yep.
So that when you learn how to do that, it's
Yep.
not a lot anymore. And then you grab something else
Yep.
and you keep going. Oh man, like
Man.
yeah, man. It's like for real. And then the combination of him and Gary, like it was awesome.
Yep.
That combination for me really changed and molded my thought process around a lot of things. Positivity, good energy, and then also communicating in an authentic way, being who you were
Yep.
and following that,
Yep.
understanding that. I'm big on integrity and character. Who are you when no one's watching?
Yep.
How is your resolve tested when the storm comes?
Yep.
Are you the same person when times are good as when times are bad? How are you that same person? And your character and your integrity should reflect that when the storm comes.
Absolutely.
Bro,
Absolutely.
son.
That's it. That's it.
And marathon, baby, just run that lap every day, son.
Yep. It's a grind.
MC,
It's a grind.
run a lap. Let's
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Every day.
Exactly.
Oh man, I could talk all day with Nipsey.
I mean, I get it. And I think you hit it on the head. Gary and Nipsey preach something that a lot of people overlook, which is patience. Patience. This is a grind, and this is a long grind at that. This is gonna take a minute. You have to be. It's gonna take one. It's gonna be one too. It's gonna take a hot minute.
And it's not gonna be easy at all.
And it's not gonna be easy. And it's like if you gonna be about this thing, like and one of Nipsey's interviews, he was talking about, he was like, I might look like I got it all, and I'm not gonna act like I got this all this poise, like I've been here and I sat here before. But I mean, I just didn't quit. Straight up, I just didn't quit. I just didn't quit. And that's all it is.
Emotion.
Right. He just straight
emotion.
up. I went through every single emotion just like you. I went through all of that. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't quit. And I was like, that's it. You can't quit. You can't give it up. And so hearing that message is like, look, I remember being broke, and like broke to the point where like I had negative dollars in my balance in my account. And you hear that message and it's like you don't have a choice but to know it's gonna get better. But two, you got to keep going. It ain't no choice in this but to keep going.
You got to keep going.
Hearing those two, exactly, hearing those two preach that message with patience and then grit, grind, I feel like there's nothing you can't do. I mean, you're running right through a wall. I'm telling you, with listening to those two, it's such.
And it's that highest human act to inspire, right? Like,
dude, man,
like just following that and understanding that, leading with love and energy and light, smiling, saying hello, and walking in that. People around you see that you walk in that. It helps them to become the better version of themselves, whatever that is. But they know that there's other ways of living life.
And you would never think that would be the case. You would think, okay, I'm just doing me. But people getting to see that allows them to live a more authentic life and presence as well. And that's such a strong message, but one that often is overlooked. But man, Nipsey was one of those. I think you would like Larry June. I don't know if you listen to him now, but he preaches a lot of the same stuff in his music too. And it's just knowledge and lessons. It's just, pay your taxes, focus on your money, put your money in investing. It's don't worry about this, get out the street, get out the game, focus on this. It's real good on a similar path. I've listened
to some of Larry June. I've heard him pop a lot more in the last year and change or so.
He's kind of like Nipsey was. And he's kind of like that.
I haven't gotten as deep into Larry June, but I'm aware very much. I've listened to a couple of his songs and similar message for sure.
Yeah, I'll send you one. I'll send you one called Financial Freedom. I think you'll like it. That's a good one.
All right, you. Yes.
Yep, I got you. But I'm gonna switch gears to, because I know you're a collector and an investor, so I gotta switch gears to. I really want to talk about this Gary V K-Swiss table, because I was shocked when I found out about that. But I mean, I'll let you tell it, because that's your story to tell. I'll let you tell it.
Bro, I was taking the kids to get some shoes,
right? And
Shoe Palace has in Vegas they had at the time like where they send all their other shoes, like older models or older shoes, whatever it is, and they put them on tables and they mark them down.
Right. Okay.
But they still have the wall, right? You can still see the new shoes on the wall. They got backpacks, whatever it is. They got the big fancy store down the street. Windows from floor to ceiling, and it's all lit up and the music's playing. This one has got concrete floor, brother.
Okay.
It's just, there's still music playing, but it looks like an old Foot Locker kind of vibe.
What it is.
Right? But they got the tables, and I'm walking through and I see the K-Swiss, and this is at the time we're in the Discord for the NFT, like Series 1 just dropped. Or like about to drop. I forget the time frame. Might have dropped already, but like it's peak Discord. Like its messages are flying.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a cooldown of 15 seconds.
Oh man,
just like it's legit.
I
like
remember that.
You couldn't text.
Right, you couldn't see a message. It was
hot. Man. So I knew once I saw table full of K-Swiss shoes, I'm like, I got a whole Discord full of people. I was like, yo, I got some shoes.
That's it.
And they had marked them down to like $20 a pair. So I'm like, this is nothing. Right. Like, I know I could sell these for $60. Even if I go just to double it to 40, $50, I'm gonna make my money back quick.
Easily.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, brother.
Wow.
I spent about maybe, I don't know, $1,600 on these shoes. I got like 35 boxes, whatever it was. Yeah. Oh yeah, made it back and made more money. Oh, for sure. Oh yeah,
man.
Right in the Discord. Who wants some shoes?
Right. That's all it takes.
This one.
Oh my gosh. Oh
yeah.
Man, when I read that,
size 13, somebody was like, "Let me get that one."
Oh my gosh. When I read that, I was like, there's no way he like legit got like 30 boxes at $20. And I was like, wait a minute, he's got a picture too. And then I started seeing, so then I looked at the post and people were commenting like, hey, let me get a couple pairs. And I was like, he flipped all of these shoes and made a profit off of this, didn't he? 100%. 100%. I was like, oh, I gotta ask him about that. I gotta ask him.
I knew the community was there already. I knew the people would want it, and I had access to it.
Exactly.
And I knew I could get into those spaces. Like, there's people there.
Exactly.
Ended up meeting Mikey in the Discord. He's one of the bigger ones because he started his own little not little, I would say. He started his own NFT where he started building. That's how Doodle Duckz came. Doodle Duckz mostly went to Mikey and helped him build Doodle Duckz.
Whoa.
Mikey also helped to build other NFT projects. So like that, the background, building the contract.
Right.
He was like, hey, I want a pair of shoes. Let me meet you at the bar down the street.
Right.
Talk to him for an hour. Now I know him. I got his contacts and his information.
Right.
And then he was talking to Sal DeGuardia. He's in the Discord too. Got a pair for him. It's just crazy.
Right.
Crazy how it works. There's people that I would never have met. They live down the street from me.
Right.
I'm like, insane.
Close. And that's what I appreciate about Gary's community. You can meet literally anybody from across the world at any moment, and you would never know that you would be friends or even interact with them or have that connection. And they're the coolest person in the world. They're usually the coolest person in the world. They're just cool. I really appreciate it about this community. They're dope. But I mean, I gotta ask you about your.
He wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the next part. Good luck. It ain't coming. It's not coming. You got to fight for that one. You got to fight for that one.
I gave the waitress the card. And he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Nah, run it.
I hate that. And it's like, come on, dude. Come on. Give me a second. Give me a chance. What are you doing? Give me a chance.
He's like, I'm not gonna buy shoes from you and then have you use that money to pay for the drinks. Like, it's not gonna happen.
That's kind of the deal, right? Right.
Yeah, like the shoes don't matter to me at this point.
Right. Connections.
The $40-$50 for the shoes don't mean as much as this right here.
Right. I was like, I'll pay for that. That's fine. Well, he's a nice guy. Well, yeah. He's a nice guy.
I was like, fine. It's not like I had a choice, right?
Right. Fine. If you're gonna pay for it, go for it. Let's do it. Fine. Whatever.
100%.
But let me ask you about your Radical Rabbit, man. You have the Diamond Radical Rabbit MV Friends Land.
Yeah. That what happened with that is a crazy story. I was there on day one for lunch, right?
Right.
And I was trying to get the Forever Phoenix. Because I was like, forever, I'm thinking in my head, marathon, Nipsey, right? I'm like, let me forever. I'm doing this forever.
That's it.
I didn't realize that he made the Radical Rabbit for Nipsey. I had no clue. Had no idea. He said in the character after it came out, like this said came out, I just missed it. He said that this is an ode to my friend. He passed. This is for Nipsey. That's why the Radical Rabbit is blue. That's why it's radical, because in Gary and Nipsey's conversation, they consider themselves both radicals.
Wow.
And that's the name of it. It was made for Nipsey. So it's the only thing that Gary did for Nipsey that links them both together. I didn't know this until all of them got sold out, basically.
Right.
I had gotten lucky enough to where I had bought 2 of them, and I got some more ETH together, and I had it basically was in Coinbase jail, right? You had to wait a week to get your money.
Fun time.
So it was sitting there, I'm like, and I knew, I was like, I'm not going to be able to get up. I was trying to get a spectacular at the time.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to get it. They're going to sell out. So I sold one for just enough ETH to buy, right, another one.
Yep.
And then I got a couple of ETH together more, and I bought another series one. So I got 2 cores and a spec. Man. I still have 2 cores, and the spec was a brilliant bubblegum, a brilliant barb. Bubblegum. So what happened was I am stalking the Radical Rabbit.
Yes.
I am all over them.
Yep.
Cores, rares, Vera, doesn't matter. Of course, the grail was the Diamond Rabbit because it's blue and it's diamond. Right? I wanted it so bad. All I could think about was this damn thing.
No.
All I could think about.
Oh my God.
I'm just constantly harping on it. Finally got to the point where we're in peak NFT prices. Like specs are going for 30 ETH.
Yeah, and gas is crazy.
And what happened was somebody's like, I found him because he had a Bored Ape in his wallet. So I'm like, he's got to be in the Discord.
Right.
So I jumped in the big Discord. Found his name that kind of matched his wallet.
Right.
So I DM'd him, hey man, do you by chance own this wallet? He's like, yeah. I was like, I want that rabbit.
Right.
He's like, get me 30 ETH. I was like, bro, I don't have 30 ETH.
Right.
He's like, well, that's what I want. I was like, oh, well, if you're gonna sell it, how about we swap? You just sell this one. He's like, I don't want to swap. I just want to sell it. He's like, I don't care about what you got. Like, I don't even want this thing. I'm out. I want to get out. I'm like, dude, you give me something. He's like, I want 30 ETH. Like, I don't have 30 ETH, dude. It's like $140,000 at the time.
Right. That's not reasonable.
I was like, all right, I'll find you somebody. And when I tell you the fantasy football trading mechanisms I've been doing for the last decade.
No way.
Found a buyer. Crazy. Posted mine. Said, hey, I'm gonna sell this. Someone's like, I'll buy it off you. I'll buy it for 30. Like, all right. So then I get in the DMs and I'm like, look, man, you'll end up with mine, but I need you to buy this rabbit.
Right.
And this rabbit, I'll trade you mine. That way you get what I told you were gonna get. It just takes a second, right? A couple of extra steps.
Right.
He's like, why is the rabbit so important? I was like,
don't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Just help me out, bro.
Right.
You want this, you'll get it. But I need this to happen. He's like, all right, fine. Go back to the other dude. Right. Hey, post it for 30. This wallet address specifically.
Exactly.
Personal, private sale up for 30. He'll buy it today.
Yep.
Posts it. I'm like, hey man, as soon as this goes through, we need to do this move.
Yep.
He buys it. He's like, yeah, I'll hit you. He doesn't hit me because I can tell. I can see the transaction.
Right.
I see the change in wallet. I know that it moved. Silence. Right. I'm like, no, what's happening here, dude?
Right.
And it took me like 30 minutes. Finally, he responds. He's like, oh yeah. I'm just running around. He's like, I'll trade it with you.
Come on.
Like, I'm like, okay. He's like, actually, I might keep. Like, dude, don't do this.
Stop.
Because what am I gonna do?
Right.
I can't jump in his wallet, right? It's there.
Oh.
Eventually, later that night, finally the transaction happens, and when I got that thing, dude,
it was worth. Hey. In the words of Nipsey, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. Just don't quit.
So hard, stressful, stressful, because I I brought together, like I said, like $130,000 deal just out of nowhere,
right? Because
I move in parts, and you got to trust that it's going to work out.
Exactly. Oh my God, dude, I'm falling apart over here. Stressful. Was NFT time. It was so stressful because gas was crazy, NFT prices was crazy. No one really knew what they were doing. You didn't really know what it was.
And those transactions take so long.
They took forever. They took forever. Man.
To make sure that the gas gets burned, that it goes through, the transaction went.
Man. And then if you want and then you wanted a specific one, and it's like if you want that particular one, it's so hard to get it. And then if other people know you want that one, they're gonna do everything in their power not to give it to you.
He was very much skittish about doing the trade, because at the time there wasn't like NFT Trader where we can have an intermediary.
Right.
It was very much, I'm gonna send it to you,
and then you.
Bro, and he was like, I'm not sending this to you because I feel like you want this thing so bad. You'll keep it and be happy, and then you got two. So we had to go. I went through Aiden Tag, was making sure, hey man, do you know who this guy is?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, good dude. I talk to him all the time. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna make a trade with him, and he wants me to send me his first, and I'm like, that's
that's what you got to do, you know.
And if I lose it, I'm like,
I got to do it. I got to try it.
But if it works out,
I get the rep. Oh my God.
And it worked out, brother. It worked out.
Oh, I love NFTs, but I do not miss that time because that was a stressful. When I was buying the first series one, I bought a Tough to Be a Worm. I don't think I slept for like 2 days because the original mint was a Dutch auction, I think, and so the one you could be eyeing could get snapped like that, and then you're out. You're out, and so it was like. I don't think I slept for 2 days watching that Dutch auction, and I finally got enough to snipe one and sniped it and grabbed it, and I crashed for like 18 hours. Like I didn't do anything else but like sleep because I was like, whoa, I do not miss that time.
It was over like 5 days that they kind of once they would start here and start here, so that he would have different time zones hit, so everybody have their opportunity and then all go through one time zone. Yeah,
like I remember the emotions. It was a fun time, but I don't miss it. I definitely don't miss it. I don't miss it. It was so stressful. I remember it too. Like
it was very stressful.
It was so stressful because there was no security. There was like, look, you could enter the wrong number for your address. You could type in the wrong ETH.
Yeah.
There were so many failure points. So to like have an NFT, there were so many failure points. That was one of the most stressful times. I would do it again, but I wouldn't be happy about it. But I'd do it again. That was a lot of fun.
And ETH just kept shooting up, dude.
And it was
ETH just kept going up.
And I remember thinking, like the week of his mint, it was like ETH was like 1,000, and he was like, "Hey, just giving you guys a heads up, maybe get some ETH because I don't want it to surprise you." And his drop happens, and it's like 2,000 ETH, and I'm like, You mean to tell me in the course of like 3 days, each shot up $1,000? Yes.
Bro.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it
Oh,
did.
man.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I'm like remembering all that again.
Yeah.
Man.
Takes you right back. You're sitting there
I was trying to
just
forget it.
wide awake, hyper aware, clicking
Oh,
through everything, trying to make sure, watching things fly. The gift
oh.
goat was flying at 15 ETH or whatever
And
it
people were
was. I'm
happy to
like,
buy it.
who's got
People were happy to buy
15
it.
ETH?
Right. People were happy to buy it. They're like, that's it. Okay, I got it. 20, got you.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
yeah,
All right. I'm out the game, but okay.
yeah.
Man.
Too
Well,
rich for my blood, but good
I
for
was like,
you.
hey, I was like, you're a whale. That's all you. I'm a little piranha or
Yeah,
tuna. I'm good. I'm over here. I'm
yeah.
chilling.
I'm
I'm
over here
good.
to the side.
You're right.
Yeah. I'm a little
Man.
clown fish.
Exactly. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll do what I got to do. I'm going to eat up this little bottom scrub, whatever here. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you some. I got to jump to basketball. Got to cover it because I know that the first time we met, you were playoff Jimmy, and I caught the full brunt of that. We were playing Pong and took a L behind playoff Jimmy here. So
It was
I know you
fun.
know the game. I know
It was
you know the
fun.
game. It was
It
fun
was
for
fun.
you. I took the L. It was fun for you though. I took an L. So I just want to know. I just got a couple comparisons. I just want to know what you think. Just because you play up Jimmy, I got to know. Dame Dollar versus Steph Curry. Who are you picking?
I
Yeah.
mean, the answer's got to be Curry.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel right. It's got to be
Yep.
Curry because no one's putting Dame in their top 10, top 15.
Yep.
But man, that guy is a sniper. The
He's
boy is nasty.
he's scary.
He's got the dribble package. He's got the explosion, and the ball can hit from the logo,
anywhere.
just like Curry.
Anywhere.
Curry though, he just don't stop moving. He's
Nope.
always going.
Yep.
He's always moving.
Yep.
So it's really hard to defend.
Yep.
Even through all the screens he's going, but then he's got the dribble package and the floater.
Yep.
Like, what are you gonna do with the floater?
Yep.
When he puts the ball way out here and just goes
and
up
drops
and
it
like,
in.
Right, and it goes in. Like, Dame's got the quick step back, high elevation on his jumper. You can't get there. You saw PG was in his face at the logo and he still hit it.
And knocked it down for a game.
Yeah, it's crazy how these guys do this stuff, man. But Curry's gonna be the answer, yes. But man, Dame, I feel like people are sleeping on Dame.
Definitely.
He doesn't get the shine he definitely should.
Definitely.
And I feel like also because he stayed in Portland for so long and it's kind of been drawn out, people get kind of over wanting to trade now because they expect him to leave.
Right.
Because that's kind of the narrative for all the players. Go where you can win a chip. You only have like 15 years of a career.
Right.
Right? Go get your chip. Don't be waiting at the end like, Peyton, Malone, these guys trying to jump on a team and latch on and get something. Do it while you're still good. Team up with somebody. He's like, no, I'm trying to do this. He's one of those last ones that
he was the last of a dying breed
and trying to fight against everything. And it worked good with CJ. It was just too much of a similar skill set with McCollum. And there was nothing down low. You couldn't. That playoff basketball is different than regular season.
And people don't get that. People don't get that.
You're playing the same team. They find your little quirks. They find what you like to do real quick. And it only takes a game or two. Like we saw with Draymond and talking to, we figured him out after game one. We'll be okay. I forget who they're playing. In the playoffs, they're like, we're fine. And then they beat him.
And did it. What? And did it.
Yeah, we figured it out. We just got one little switch. He goes to the bench. The starters going to the bench. It's different in the playoffs. So I think if he ends up going to Miami though, like all bets are off.
And I mean that's the thing about Dame. If Dame ends up, let's say over the past 10 years, Dame ends up on a better team with more weapons, more resources, etc., better system, we could be talking about a different Dame. We could be talking about his career in a different light completely because he's got everything in terms of an elite basketball player and a championship caliber basketball player. I would just say the system that he's been in over the past 15 years and due to his loyalty and his last of a dying breed sort of perspective, we didn't get to see the fullness of what he could have been.
It's a middle to bottom level organization.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah,
like unfortunately,
no one wants to go to Portland. Who's going to Portland? Same thing. Like you're OKC. If you don't want to go, like why are you're going to get traded to OKC, and then now you're looking at Shea.
That's what happened.
That's true. That's what happened.
That's true.
Or they draft them, and that happened with KD, right, and Harden and Russ at the time, right? But they're not going there to be let's play in OKC. They're going to Brooklyn, They're going to New York. Well, not as much New York because New York, for whatever reason, can't get players, which is
I don't know. Brunson is showing out up there, man. He's about to attract some real.
Yes, but he's the only one. They got like James. Was it Randall? Randall was before him, but like no names are going to New York. For whatever
Julius Randle is many things, but I don't see him as a star. Like he runs from the moment. When the lights get brightest, he kind of passes the ball and runs from that moment. He's not a He's not
a one. He's definitely a 3, a solid 3 player that's just going to get you his 20, 10, 15, 15, whatever it is, which is a good, solid player. You need those players.
Yeah, right? But he's not the one. Agreed.
But why New York hasn't been able to pull those big stars,
I couldn't tell. And I would say it's got to be like an organizational thing similar to Portland.
That's the other thing too.
Their market is so good. It's like you guys should be able to attract anybody. But they target key star players every year and they always miss them. And I don't get why. I don't get it.
It's got to be something with, like, you're right, with Dolan.
It's got to be the organization.
Got to be organizationally. Because, man, that market is just, for a basketball player.
It's perfect. It's perfect. If LA works, New York should work. It's perfect.
Marketability is ridiculous.
Right.
For sure.
Hey, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. But it looks like we're running down on time here, so I'm going to have to wrap this up for this episode. But man, it was so good to talk and see you, man. I really appreciate you taking this time, and we got to do this again. We've got to.
Pleasure, my man. For sure. We got to link way more often.
Let's do it. We got to set some more time on the calendar. So let me know when you're free. Let's do this again because this is fun. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun.
Let's run it.
Let's do it. It's marathon. Another lap. Let's do it.
Sir.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. I'm here for it, man. You send me that link and I'll be on here next time for sure.
Yes, sir. All right. I'm going to talk to you in a bit. You have a good one now.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.